The dungeon entrance was a scene of chaos. "Those bastards," a voice hissed, the words laced with barely controlled fury. "Lizards. Sometimes there are lizard-like creatures, and they're dangerous. Accidents are common in dungeons, and even if something untoward occurs, it's hard to prove anything. No CCTV, nothing to watch from outside." The speaker's voice was grim. The implication was clear. These were dangerous, lawless places. The hunters operated outside the boundaries of normal law, and their actions are difficult to trace. "The weaker you are, the faster you're discarded," the voice continued, painting a stark picture of the hunter's world. "But if you're strong, people will seek that strength." This brutal reality underlined the cutthroat nature of the profession. Hunters were tools, disposable if weak, powerful and valuable if strong. The voice then described the merciless way the weak were discarded. "If they say you're useless, or you get in the way, like a lizard shedding its tail, you're cut away." A warning followed, stark and direct. "I'm telling you, be careful." The scene shifted. Panic filled the air. The entrance. "Those sons of bitches tried to ambush us. They tried to eliminate us for the mana crystals. I couldn't stop them. We were already trapped." A sense of helplessness permeated the account. They had been outmaneuvered, caught in a carefully laid snare. Any resistance would have meant further difficulties. The narrator's voice was calm, though he was clearly shaken, reflecting on the situation. I think it's better to live together," he stated. A decision made with grim pragmatism in the face of overwhelming odds. The narrative returned to the aftermath. "It's great that everyone survived," the narrator acknowledged, a touch of grudging respect in his voice. He then subtly criticized the hunter who had saved them, stating, "But it would be good if you didn't pay attention to small things so much." This subtle critique implied that the hunter who saved them had missed some crucial aspects of the attack. The narrator seemed to have spotted some key details. The implication was clear. Something was deeply amiss. The scene then flashed back. The narrator's companion was identified. So that's what he meant. Did he say he was Joe Gaiwan, the C-rank magician with the light? He sealed off the passage effectively. Getting out isn't a huge problem. But what he managed to block using magic spells, that's a problem. The revelation provided context to their ambush. The magical barrier created by the C-rank magician presented a significant obstacle to their escape, even though it initially seemed like a positive outcome. Then, the narrator explained their strategy, to escape and return later. "A C-rank dungeon boss. Since we memorized the way, getting out is easy. Let's go back after a rest. Why do it this way? If we'd fought them, and the spider woke up, how would we mine and move the mana crystals with the world's weakest E-rank hunter and a D-rank hunter with 0 raid experience? They couldn't beat the boss, no matter how hard they tried. But after the spider ate them and went back to sleep, we could take advantage and get those crystals." Their plan was a calculated risk, built on the assumption of the spider boss's behavior. A shift in the narrative revealed a sinister undercurrent. "Did you see Jin-Ho's equipment? The sword and shield alone are worth millions. If we can't bring all the mana crystals back, we can at least take his stuff, find out which rich family he's from, and at least take care of his funeral." The war caused quite a stir. Shouldn't the boss be pretty angry right now? A callous pragmatism emerged, highlighting the ruthlessness inherent in their world. The possibility of using their circumstances to loot the young hunter's expensive equipment. The conversation then turned to the spider boss. "Gaiwan, do you have the confidence to beat that monster on your own?" The question revealed the enormity of their predicament. A C-rank boss was no small matter. Gaiwan conceded defeat. He wasn't confident at all. Even awakening the boss could have dire consequences for the entire team. A moment of stark tension ensued. Many eyes, hideous mouth, enormous size, long legs. Its strength is on another level. "What idiotic nonsense, Jin-Ho. Stay there." The narrator's voice carried a mixture of disbelief and dawning horror at the power of the creature. Then, the unexpected happened. "That's mine." A bold exclamation, followed by stunned disbelief. "Wait, Hyunwoo, what are you trying to do? Kill it? You're going to fight that thing alone?" The others were shocked. They believed he was simply too weak to engage the boss. However, Hyunwoo, the seemingly weak hunter, exhibited a surprising resilience, even a strange calm. "Even after reawakening, I'm still weak, but I wonder why I don't feel pressure that would bring me to my knees." The blue poison fangs. "Rasaka, I met in the instant dungeon. It was strong, for an E-rank boss, possibly higher than D-rank. The golem boss was D-rank or lower. In comparison to them, this is unbelievably strong. It probably means I became strong enough not to be intimidated by a C-rank boss." His confidence was surprising and unnerving. He had become much stronger than he had let on. His level, 18, a C-rank boss was doable. My attack worked. Risaka's Fong. It's a pretty good weapon, isn't it? A chilling calm radiated from Hyun-Woo's words. The reason a hunter is called a hunter, the real hunt begins now. The narrative concluded with a display of Hyun-Woo's stats, confirming his unexpected strength and his possession of a powerful dagger, the Recycler's Fong, capable of inflicting paralysis and bleeding effects. The hunt had turned into something far more dangerous and intriguing. The air in the cavern hung thick and heavy, a silent pressure amplifying the already tense atmosphere. Before me, a colossal arachnid pulsed with a sinister energy, its multifaceted eyes gleaming with predatory intent. It was a dungeon boss, and even from a distance, its sheer scale was intimidating. This wasn't just another hunt. This was a confrontation with something ancient, something powerful, and something profoundly unsettling. My initial assessment was stark. That's an E-rank hunter, I muttered to myself, more a statement of disbelief than a declaration. The creature's defenses were immediately apparent. Its chitinous hide is incredibly thick. If I want to inflict any meaningful damage with my dagger, I'll have to drive it in as deeply as possible. The reality of the situation settled in with chilling clarity. This was no ordinary hunt. The boss was significantly more powerful and agile than I'd anticipated. It has virtually no blind spots. A spider, with its 8 legs, can easily crush the floor. Each strike from this creature is a potent threat. Getting into close-quarters combat will be incredibly dangerous, requiring time and precision. My heart pounded in my chest. This wasn't just a challenge. It was a gamble with potentially fatal consequences. Then, a twist in the narrative presented itself. A puzzle piece that completely shifted my perception of the entire encounter. "What is this?" I exclaimed, my voice barely a whisper against the echoing silence of the cavern. An E-rank hunter? No way. His official guild ranking is definitely E-rank, but those movements, they aren't the movements of an E-rank hunter. There's something deeply wrong here. Could it be a false ranker? Among hunters, there are some who skillfully manipulate their magical signatures. If they choose, they can easily suppress their true power, artificially lowering their evaluation rank. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. This wasn't just a powerful beast I was facing, but potentially a deceptive and dangerous opponent. The ramifications of this discovery were far-reaching. This seemingly ordinary hunt had been elevated to a deadly game of cat and mouse, where perception and deception played as important a role as brute strength and skill. Hunters who deliberately conceal their power to achieve a lower rank are often referred to as false rankers. I mused aloud, the implications of this realization hanging heavily in the air. And the problem is, false rankers are typically highly volatile and unpredictable individuals. Some have a penchant for deadly games, for testing the limits of their own abilities, and for taking undue risks. Their casual disregard for human life is well known. The fight had suddenly become far more dangerous, the stakes exponentially higher. The pressure mounted, the weight of the situation pressing down on me. The fight dragged on, and my own limitations became painfully clear. Why did I even agree to this? I murmured, a wave of self-doubt washing over me. This was my father's idea. How long have I been fighting this thing? 5 minutes? No, closer to 10. Oh no, my stamina is steadily draining. I haven't inflicted substantial damage, and my fatigue level is climbing rapidly. At 57, my speed is significantly reduced. I can't possibly sustain this much longer. There is only one way out of this, only one chance to win this. My mind raced, searching for a solution, for a way to turn the tide of this desperate battle. A plan began to solidify in my mind, a strategy predicated on exploiting the creature's weaknesses. I need to utilize my dagger's special abilities, its unique properties. The only chance of winning this is to utilize the special abilities my weapon possesses. The Recycler's Fong, its name whispered in hushed tones among experienced hunters, was a tool of both lethal precision and devastating potential. Its capabilities were well documented and highly sought after. I reviewed the statistics in my head, confirming my strategy. Effect: paralyze. Any foe I strike has a chance to become completely immobilized. Effect: bleed. Any foe I strike will suffer a 1% health depletion every single second. The key is exploiting the creature's weaknesses. I focused on a core hunting principle. The fundamentals of successful hunting lie in identifying and exploiting weaknesses. The head is the natural weak point for most creatures, and the eyes are undeniably the most vulnerable points of the head. My resolve hardened, my focus sharpened. The fight was a desperate dance between skill, endurance, and cunning. Acid. That's it. The boss was hiding a potent weapon. If this continues, I'll run out of time. There's no room for error against such a powerful opponent. I need to close the distance, and I need to do it faster than before. The urgency of the situation propelled me forward, driving me to summon every ounce of my remaining strength and skill. I activated a skill, a desperate attempt to bridge the distance between me and my formidable opponent. Activate. Sprint LV1 skill. Sprint activated. My movement speed has increased by 30%. I was a blur of motion, a whirlwind of steel and determination. I closed the distance in the blink of an eye. My dagger flashed, driven home with all my remaining strength. Effect. Paralysis activated. Twice. But the enemy's resilience was far greater than I anticipated. The paralysis effect failed to take hold. The crushing disappointment was almost as demoralizing as the continuing assault. I need to end this, and I need to do it now. But critical hits are proving incredibly elusive. Fatigue. 61. This is becoming increasingly desperate. My opponent continued its assault, its attacks unwavering and relentless. He's fast, but his stamina is failing too. What will he do? The situation was growing increasingly critical. Failure was becoming a real possibility. My fatigue was crippling. Fatigue levels had reached a critical 70. A ray of hope, however faint, appeared on the horizon. A daily quest notification appeared on my interface. Quest objectives: push-ups, 100 repetitions, curl-ups, 100 repetitions, squats, 100 repetitions, and a 1-kilometer run. Quest rewards: choose 1 reward, 1. Status recovery, 2. Step points, 3. A random box. Will you accept your rewards? The decision was immediate. Status recovery was the only option that could turn the tide. Accept. Plus 3 status recovery. My strength, my speed, my focus returned with overwhelming force. The final engagement was a blur of motion, a whirlwind of steel and determination. The effects of my dagger's special abilities landed once more. Effect. Paralysis activated. Effect. Bleed activated. Your foe will lose 1% health every second. The final blow struck, the creature's movement ceasing, its predatory energy dissipating. The dungeon boss has been defeated. You leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up. A wave of overwhelming relief washed over me, a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. Thank goodness I didn't accept the other rewards. If I had, I have no idea what might have happened. The battle was, in retrospect, astonishing. The seemingly insurmountable odds had been overcome. The opponent, far stronger and far more cunning than I'd initially anticipated, had been vanquished. He really took down the boss by himself. There's no way this person was just an E-rank hunter. He's definitely a false ranker, I concluded, the lingering mystery of his true abilities adding an intriguing layer to the already suspenseful narrative. The final reveal of his stats confirmed the significant victory and his level up, marking his rise to level 21, fatigue fully recovered, and substantial increases in various stats. The hunt was over, for now, but a lingering sense of wonder and suspense hung in the air, hinting at future challenges and the unfathomable potential of the young hunter. The cavern fell silent, the only sound the heavy breathing of the hunters. The air crackled with unspoken questions, the aftermath of the battle hanging heavy and unsettling. What? Those guys are still alive? One hunter exclaimed, his voice a mixture of disbelief and dawning horror. Is the boss gone? What happened? Did they actually defeat it by themselves? Was that massive spider simply oversized and lacking in intelligence? The questions tumbled out, fueled by a potent blend of astonishment and suspicion. The reality of the situation was far more complex, far more unsettling than anyone had anticipated. The implications of the unexpected outcome began to sink in, the pieces of the puzzle slowly clicking into place. If it was that other hunter's equipment, one of the hunters mused, a calculating glint in his eyes, it's plausible that he could have single-handedly subdued a C-rank boss. But a D-rank and an E-rank hunter managing to defeat a boss? That's completely unheard of. That's all the evidence I need. Jin-Woo, I severely underestimated you. There's no way an E-rank hunter could have provided any meaningful assistance in this encounter. He must have overcome the boss entirely on his own. I'm completely baffled. I have no idea what kind of extraordinary abilities that equipment possesses, but it makes him a very, very dangerous adversary. It might be incredibly unwise to make him an enemy. The previously casual tone had been replaced by a cautious, apprehensive undercurrent. The situation had escalated dramatically, and the potential repercussions were far-reaching. A strategic shift was urgently required, the necessity for a revised approach starkly evident. What do we do now? Obviously, we need to secure his allegiance. We must bring Yu Jin-Ho onto our side. I investigated him. His equipment was far too extravagant for an E-rank hunter. He turned out to be the son of a highly influential figure, the chairman of Eugene Architecture. He's exceptionally well-connected. The speaker's tone shifted from wary assessment to calculated persuasion. A subtle shift in tactics was employed. So, what? I initially believed he was just another rich kid. But this changes everything. I need to have a discussion with his father. The casual tone had disappeared, replaced by cold, calculated pragmatism. The ensuing conversation took a sharp, ominous turn. A blatant threat, veiled in the guise of an offer, was extended. We'll offer you a chance at survival. Eliminate Sung Jin-Woo and join our group. It's the only path to survival. Otherwise, you both face elimination. Why hesitate? Nobody will ever know what occurred within the confines of this dungeon. The speaker's words dripped with chilling implications. The threat was unmistakable, a stark reminder of the brutal realities of the hunter's world. Fear became a palpable entity within the cavern, amplifying the already tense atmosphere. A new aspect of the situation emerged, highlighting a critical vulnerability within the group's dynamics. Are you perhaps apprehensive about facing high-ranking hunters? I'm his savior. From his perspective, the speaker stated, his tone dismissive and condescending. His voice was devoid of empathy, reflecting a cold, calculating pragmatism. What foolish thoughts. It's a certainty that I'll be betrayed. I'm weak. The chilling self-awareness underscored the speaker's vulnerability, his position within the group's hierarchy. The tension escalated as the seemingly simple conflict morphed into a complex game of power, manipulation, and desperate survival. What's this? You're going to side with him and fight us, Dong-suk? What should we do? The leader's voice was a mixture of shock and anger at this unexpected development. The carefully constructed power dynamic within the group had been irrevocably disrupted. A pragmatic assessment of the situation followed, a cold calculation devoid of sentimentality. Eliminating the son of a wealthy family would be rather wasteful. We should prioritize eliminating the weaker one first. You too, have you ever eliminated a human before? The question hung heavy in the air, an uncomfortable reminder of the darker aspects of their profession. The casual cruelty was unsettling, reflecting the amorality inherent in their world. The moment of tense contemplation was abruptly shattered by an unexpected interruption, a system notification. An emergency quest has been issued, the system's monotone voice announced, its tone devoid of emotion. Emergency quest, eliminate the enemy. There are entities nearby who intend to eliminate the player. Eliminate them and ensure your safety. If this quest isn't completed, a penalty will be imposed. The carefully constructed plan disintegrated, replaced by a desperate struggle for survival against an unseen, implacable force. The system itself had entered the equation, transforming a simple power struggle into a life-or-death fight against an unyielding, uncaring algorithm. The shock rippled through the hunters. Their neatly orchestrated plans had been irrevocably disrupted. The urgency of the situation became terrifyingly clear. What is this? The system? What's going on? The system message clarified the nature of the emergency quest. Quest info, emergency quest. Eliminate the enemy. There are entities nearby who intend to eliminate the player. Eliminate them to ensure your safety. If this quest is not completed, your heart will stop. Enemies required to be eliminated. 8. The hunters were now in a race against time, their lives hanging precariously in the balance. The weight of the system's mandate descended upon them, transforming the interpersonal conflict into a desperate battle for survival. The tension ratcheted up, the situation rapidly deteriorating. Sir, Yu Jin-Ho, disregard the fallen and come over here. A desperate plea underscored the urgency, the fear palpable in the speaker's voice. Why did I forget? This is a world that prioritizes survival of the fittest above all else. The speaker's voice was laced with a mixture of self-reproach and dawning realization. The fundamental reality of their existence was starkly revealed. A merciless world where only the strongest survive. Yes, my thinking has been fundamentally flawed until now. The countless times I've entered dungeons, pushing my limits, healing, and returning again and again. This is why I'm so apprehensive. There's no such thing as a safe place here. The hunter's voice was heavy with a newfound understanding, the weight of the system's ruthlessness pressing down on him. The seemingly simple quest had become a desperate struggle for existence, a fight against not just other hunters, but against the very system that governed their lives. The implications of the emergency quest became agonizingly clear. Emergency quest, eliminate the enemies. There are entities nearby who intend to eliminate the player. Eliminate them to ensure your safety. If this quest isn't completed, your heart will stop. Enemies eliminated. 8. The system is forcing me to eliminate them. Eliminate them to ensure your safety. If this quest is not completed, your heart will stop. Threat level, high. If you don't want to be eliminated, you'd better comply. The cold, impersonal tone of the system's message left no room for doubt. The choice was stark: comply or face the consequences. The hunters were thrown into a brutal dilemma, their choices limited and their fate hanging precariously in the balance. Wouldn't it be rather awkward if I were eliminated? This isn't merely a coincidence or an act of goodwill. This is exactly what the system demands. A strong Sung Jin-Woo. HP, 1360, 26. It's not about making me stronger. It's purely about survival. The hunter's words were imbued with a stark understanding of the system's ruthlessness. The seemingly straightforward hunt had evolved into a harrowing test of survival, the line between hunter and hunted blurred and indistinct. The appearance of a seemingly unharmed Sung Jin-Woo dramatically shifted the power dynamics once more, adding a layer of complexity to the unfolding events. Huh? That guy is still alive? I can see now. The system wants me to become stronger. It's perfectly clear. The system uses me, and I, in turn, use the system. The hunter's voice carried a newfound confidence, an understanding of the game he was playing. The subtle shift from desperate survival to calculated manipulation underscored the character's growth and adaptability. The accusations flew, the tension reaching a fever pitch. Guy 1. Has your skill deteriorated? How embarrassing. He should be capable of eliminating an ear anchor in a single strike. Guy 1. You should have approached this more seriously. I poured everything I had into that magical attack. I used a tremendous amount of magical energy, but how did this happen? Was my aim off? The speaker's frustration and anger were. The cavern was eerily quiet, the only sound the ragged breaths of the surviving hunters. The recent events hung heavy in the air, a chilling mixture of disbelief and dawning fear. The system's stark announcement echoed in their minds. 1 enemy remains to be eliminated. 7 enemies eliminated. Jae Juntai's voice cut through the silence, raw with shock and outrage. What? That bastard. Where did he even get that weapon? No matter how unguarded Juntai was, he was still a D-rank hunter. How did an E-rank hunter? The questions hung unanswered, the implications deeply disturbing. The weight of the situation settled upon me, the cold reality impossible to ignore. I ended up eliminating a human being. I can argue that the system compelled me, but that doesn't alter the fact that I took a life. If I hadn't acted, I would have been eliminated. I couldn't escape this. It's a survival of the fittest environment. A grim acceptance settled over me, a chilling awareness of the brutal reality of the hunter's world. My actions, though forced, were irreversible. The tense moment was broken by a sudden, jarring shift. Yo, son, you aren't injured, are you? It's okay. We're behind you. A forced cheerfulness masked the underlying tension, the attempt at camaraderie a thin veil over the stark reality of the situation. The other hunters seemed to be more relaxed than I was. Haha, okay. Wake up, boss. A few of them are down. My belly's finally full. I finally joined a big guild, so I can try this. I was a member of the church choir. If it's singing and praising, I've got this. The hunter seemed utterly unaffected by the disturbing events. The clash between the other hunter's casual demeanor and the gravity of the situation was striking. The relief was short-lived. Who brought us here? Hey, no, Song Hail. It was you. I also have a family. I don't want to be eliminated here. I don't want to be eliminated. I'm sorry, Mr. Who. The desperate pleas were heartbreaking, the raw fear palpable. The casualness of the previous moment had evaporated, replaced by a chilling sense of vulnerability and desperation. The scene shifted, the focus turning to a new threat. The hunter's grim assessment of the situation resonated with chilling clarity. I don't know what he just did, but don't let your guard down. Guy 1. Give him another strike. The attack was swift and precise, a testament to the hunter's skill and determination. Yet, even this assault proved futile, highlighting the unexpected strength of their adversary. The hunter's frustration and disbelief were evident in his voice. Your magic is incredibly annoying. His tone was sharp, laced with a mixture of exasperation and dawning fear. The hunter's focus shifted, observing their foe's unsettling movements with growing unease. How is an E-rank hunter moving like this? My attacks are completely missing their mark. He's far too fast. If you consider yourselves hunters, then hunt. Hunters were created to hunt. After all, the challenge was laid down, a stark reminder of the ruthlessness of the hunter's code. The chilling effects of the hunter's abilities became immediately apparent. Effect: paralysis activated. My body is completely frozen. Magic? Is that magic? That son of a bitch is strong. I think he's even stronger than when he subdued the dungeon boss. Cool. Effect. Bleed activated. Effect. Paralysis activated. What is this guy's identity? The rapidly escalating events underscored the unexpected power and skill of their opponent. The tide turned decisively. In a flash, all our members. You bastard. You were hiding your skills. Were you the one who subdued the dungeon boss? The realization was both stunning and terrifying. The hunters' confidence and bravado crumbled in the face of overwhelming force. Their previously carefully constructed plans shattered beyond repair. The system's relentless pursuit of its objective continued, its cold, impartial mandate immutable. Enemies required to be eliminated. 8. Enemies eliminated. 7. I never expected all my members to be subdued. I'll show you that not all C-rankers are on the same level. The hunter's resolve stiffened, his defiance a last stand against the impending threat. His confident declaration underscored his determination. His strategy was clear, to overwhelm his opponent through superior strength and stamina. Empower 10. No matter how powerful he is, there's no way he won't be exhausted after facing a dungeon boss and 7 hunters. You can't break my defenses by swinging a dagger with an exhausted body. His focus was sharp, his confidence unwavering. A hunter specialized in agility and dexterity shouldn't possess a skill capable of penetrating his empower skill. He would be utterly destroyed the moment he strikes me. The unexpected happened, defying all expectations, shattering any semblance of certainty. Leader Hwang Dong-suk, you're strong, but there's something you don't know. A chilling certainty resonated in the hunter's words. I'm constantly leveling up, incessantly. A sudden, violent action took place. Cough, cough. What just happened? Did he just slam me into the ground? This guy, there's no way he's an E-rank hunter. Does that mean he's a false ranker? Wait, don't eliminate me. Spare me. Oh, I'll give you money. You can have all the mana crystals here, and the magic crystals too. 3 times. Are you begging for forgiveness? You attempted elimination 3 times. Stop it. Do you think you'll escape the consequences? Didn't you say nobody knows what happens inside a dungeon? You bastard. Do you even know who my younger brother is? The desperate pleas were cut short by the cold, implacable reality of the hunter's world. The power dynamic had shifted once more, the hunter's previous confidence replaced by a mixture of fear and grudging respect. The aftermath of the encounter was both chaotic and unsettling. My clothes are a mess again. The size doesn't fit anymore. I guess I'll buy some new clothes. The hunter's nonchalant observation juxtaposed sharply with the gravity of the situation. A new phase of the hunt began. The boss has been subdued. The dungeon is closing. Let's leave quickly. The urgency of the situation was undeniable. The system notification appeared again. Quest reward, emergency quest. Eliminate the enemy. Completion conditions met. Will you receive the reward? Accept. Refuse. Quest rewards. Choose your rewards. You may choose from the rewards below. Reward number 1. Status recovery. Reward number 2. Experience points plus 10. Reward number 3. Skill, bloodlust. Will you accept your rewards? Accept. Refuse. X skills. Active. Bloodlust LV1. 100 mana. Using a strong energy, the selected target is placed in a state of fear for 1 minute. Several targets can be selected. Effective fear. All stats reduced by 50%. The final moments were a jarring contrast between the immediate aftermath and the chilling implications of the hunter's actions and the system's relentless pursuit of its objectives. The final scene shifted abruptly, the setting changing from the dark, claustrophobic dungeon to a bright, bustling city street. Washington, USA. A lovely morning. What time is it in Korea? Huh, did I have a bad dream? My eyes are wet. The ending leaves the viewer with a haunting sense of unease and uncertainty, the hunter's journey far from over. The true extent of his power and the implications of his actions remain chillingly ambiguous, underscoring the morally gray nature of the hunter's world. The hushed atmosphere in the guild manager Yogenchol's office was thick with unspoken tension. The recent C-rank dungeon raid had concluded in an unsettling manner, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and unsettling implications. 8 experienced hunters were incapacitated, an unusual outcome that demanded a thorough explanation. Yogenchol, a man known for his sharp intellect and unwavering calm, addressed his subordinate. What is this report detailing? In a C-rank dungeon raid, 8 hunters were incapacitated. The surviving hunters were a D-rank and an E-rank. It appears they simply abandoned the dungeon. Isn't that a fairly common occurrence? The subordinate, however, offered a response that defied expectations, shattering the anticipated routine explanation of a simple hunter mishap. No, sir. They didn't abandon the dungeon. They completed it. Yogan Shul's eyebrows rose, his curiosity piqued. He probed deeper, his questions precise and revealing. The D-rank hunter, Eugene Ho, possessed exceptionally high-grade equipment. Given the quality of his gear, it's conceivable that he single-handedly subdued the C-rank boss. The boss, the giant arachnid Bariura, shouldn't pose a significant threat to a well-coordinated team. Therefore, the fact that 8 seasoned hunters were incapacitated is profoundly perplexing. Let's dispense with the formalities. Tell me everything. If there weren't extraordinary circumstances, you wouldn't have sought my direct involvement. The manager's words were sharp, his tone leaving no room for ambiguity. He demanded a complete, unvarnished account of the events. The subordinate continued, revealing a crucial detail that fundamentally altered the nature of the investigation. The other survivor, sir, was Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, from the notorious dungeon incident. Sung Jin-Woo. While there are certain unusual aspects to this, I don't believe it warrants significant concern. We utilized a state-of-the-art magic strength measurement device, an extremely rare item acquired from a high-rank monster awakening, and even that advanced technology didn't reveal anything exceptional. Therefore, there's no compelling reason to suspect him further. A standard review of his past performance should be sufficient. I, too, am inclined to dismiss it as a mere coincidence, but I cannot simply ignore the circumstances. One of the incapacitated hunters was Wang Dong-suk. The manager's expression changed subtly, a flicker of recognition crossing his features. Wang Dong-suk? You're referring to Hunter Wang Dong-suk's older brother? If that's the case, this cannot be dismissed. This demands a thorough, impartial investigation. The casual tone had vanished, replaced by a calculated seriousness. What had begun as a routine report had transformed into a complex case with potentially far-reaching consequences. The scene shifted, revealing a different hunter, a man whose usual miserly habits were inexplicably altered. He was indulging in a surprisingly lavish meal of chicken wings. A colleague, noticing the uncharacteristic extravagance, inquired with mild curiosity, "Why the chicken wings? Did something fortunate occur?" The hunter responded cautiously, a hint of hesitancy in his tone. "Well, I'm uncertain whether it's truly fortunate or not. Tell me, what transpired? You're typically so economical. I had the urge to celebrate, to indulge in some alcoholic beverages, but the desire simply wasn't there. Then, the alarm sounded. A harmful substance has been detected. Buff, Q poison. Effect, healing. It seems the system has bestowed upon me a unique ability. It's purifying even alcohol." The unexpected intervention of the system added a layer of intrigue and unease to the narrative. The system interrupted the conversation with a series of notifications, each one more unsettling than the last. Q poison has been neutralized. You've received a reward. The system has granted you a reward immediately following your emergence from the dungeon. Disaster alarm. You've fulfilled all the requirements for the secret quest, Courage of the Weak. Message, you have unread mail. Given recent developments, I overlooked it. Should he fail to comply with the system's directives, there may be penalties imposed. Your rewards have arrived. To think, the system granted me this reward. Quest reward, Secret Quest, Courage of the Weak. Great Spellcaster Candy Arrow's Blessing. The Great Spellcaster Candy Arrow has gifted you with a special spell. Candy Arrow's blessing guarantees you will always be strong and healthy throughout your life. It's thanks to this quest reward that my lost leg has been completely regenerated. Quest reward, temporary effect, will to rehabilitate. Any missing body parts are restored. Permanent effect, longevity. All diseases, poisons, and status effects are cured. Sleep dramatically enhances your regeneration ability. The sheer power of the reward was astonishing. The implications profound and far-reaching. The implications of this extraordinary reward hung heavy in the air, prompting a chain of thought. Wait, if I'm now immune to all poisons, aren't you eating? If you aren't, I'll eat it for you. Feel free to indulge. Gain some weight. The The stark contrast between the recent life-threatening events and the casual nature of the conversation was jarring. The tone shifted to a discussion about the hunter's recent transformation. It's difficult to adjust to him since he began his intense training regimen. He was always so easygoing, and it seems his personality has shifted somewhat. I believe he appears sharper too. Is it simply the effects of his rigorous exercise? It's not as if anything unusual happened within the dungeon, is it? The subtle but significant change in the hunter's demeanor prompted speculation, underscoring the mystery surrounding the recent events. The system's notifications continued, providing further details. Item: Recycler's Venom. Item class: A. Type: Potion. A pouch containing Recycler's purified venom. Obtainable only by subduing Rasaka. Extremely low drop rate. Consuming it grants hardened skin but reduces your strength. Effect: Recycler's Steel Scales. Minus 20% physical damage taken. Debuff: Weaken muscles. Minus 35 strength. If status effects are automatically healed, won't this item's negative effects also be removed? There's no reason to suspect. The system's message was interrupted, its robotic voice cutting off mid-sentence. A harmful substance has been detected in your body. X321Q poison has been neutralized. Item: Recycler's Venom. Effect: Weakened muscles is dissipating. The system's actions were both unexpected and unsettling, further highlighting the unpredictable and often arbitrary nature of the game's mechanics. The hunter's updated stats were displayed, reflecting the changes brought about by the recent events. Just as I suspected: Strength, 538, Vitality, 308, Agility, 38, Intelligence, 328. Physical damage reduction, 20%. Activating. A new development shifted the focus of the conversation. Do you know someone named Eugene-ho? He's on the phone, requesting to speak with you. The scene transitioned to a bustling cafe, a stark contrast to the claustrophobic confines of the dungeon. Cafe Penny, sir, this way? How did you locate my number? I have some contacts within the guild. Would you like a coffee? The casual setting seemed incongruous with the gravity of the recent events. I'm fine, thank you. I certainly didn't anticipate seeing you again so soon. You were my savior. You shared all the magic crystals with me, allowing me to earn a significant amount of money. It totals 1,008,001 after tax. Because you remained silent, there haven't been any further issues. Those hunters attempted to eliminate us. We are hunters, we can't simply be eliminated. It was a confrontation between hunters. That hunter was a false ranker, a maniac who derives satisfaction from eliminating others. He's someone I'd prefer never to encounter again. The conversation turned to a more critical subject: the hunter's ambitions. So, why did you request this meeting? Sir, I'm currently attempting to establish a personal attack force. My request was denied. But I hadn't even finished my sentence before the denial. I don't need to hear your excuses. Since you are forming an attack force, you want me to join, correct? Sir, I was considering this, but I have no intention of engaging in frivolous games with someone from a wealthy family. I'm leaving if there's nothing further to discuss. The hunter's tone was firm, unwavering. The persistent pursuit of the other hunter, however, continued. Just 20 more raids. No, please join me. Just 19 more raids remain. We'll undertake them together. We'll go to dungeons together. Yes, I will ensure you receive your appropriate share of the rewards.